want to direct you to the second page where it says, visitation for Pedro Jimenez with the child, Pedro Jimenez and Mia Jimenez, shall be as follows. The mother may supervise FaceTime calls at her discretion. The father shall have supervised visits at a minimum.
Is there a question?
Yes, if I can finish. Father shall have supervised visits at a minimum of 1 time per month, supervised by the paternal grandmother. Who is the paternal grandmother?
Pedro's mom.
Pedro's mom. So Pedro was allowed to have 1 visit per month. Pedro was allowed to have 1 visit per month with his children, as long as it was supervised by Pedro's mother, correct?
Yes.
In June of 2022, where did Pedro's mother live?
She moved to Georgia. She separated with her husband because he was abusive.
Would she frequently come back to Florida from Georgia, as far as you know?
No.
All right. So, Pedro chokes you. Your mother tells him, I'm going to call the police. He leaves. Does he come back at some point?
He kept coming back, talking, I guess, to my mother. He was hysterical. And then I would talk.
Did it appear to you, based on knowing him, that he was under the influence of anything?
Oh, he was. When I picked him up from Kevin's house, I walked in on him buying 6 bags of cocaine.
Okay. So he wasn't the sober person that you had dealt with a couple of days before, right?
No.
Right. So when he comes back after your mother initially threatened to call the police, what happens when he came back?
The first time he began, he was hysterical, telling me how I betrayed him, how he gave me everything. I threw 9 years down the drain, and he again tried to, as I denied it again. Clearly he had his facts in order, he knew, but I wasn't.
Hold on. Remember when your objection was paused?
That's mine.
Okay, so overruled, you can continue.
Clearly he knew, but I just wasn't at that stage yet to admit, that I had moved on. So at that point, because I kept denying it, he got angry again, and I had pulled the gun out on him.
Hold on. You're going on a little too long.
Okay.
So if the objection is sustained, we're going to have to ask you another question.
So he's upset because he suspects that you're with another man or seeing another man, right?
Yes.
Okay. You said that he was very agitated?
Yes.
Okay. So he kept pressing the issue, and then what, if anything, does he do at this moment?
At that point, he grabbed me again, and this time I had the gun in close range.
What did you do?
I pointed it at him.
And what did you say?
To leave.
Did he?
He ran.
You ran away?
He ran away.
At some point after that, does he come back?
Yes.
All right. What happens when he comes back? This third time now he's coming back, right? All right. What happens this third time that he comes back?
It's the same thing. Basically,
what
the same thing. Just hysterical, crying, basically saying I ruined their entire family, whatnot.
Let's all try to speak up. So there's an objection. It's a little
Sorry. And then as he began to draw closer, at this point, I'm already scared. I see I can see that he's using. I can see that he's been using all day. From what happened a couple days before, my head is still healing. I'm beginning to get scared now.
Sustained narrative. Mr. Dumas is gonna ask another question.
Okay.
So you're still recovering from your wounds, right?
Yes.
How are your wounds feeling, and what state are they in at that point that it's been a few days?
I mean, they're dry, but they're very open still.
Do they still hurt?
Yes.
All right, so you're feeling that, right? He's already left a couple of times, and now he's coming back. Is his demeanor escalating?
It is.
Okay, so now this time, again, when he's come back, what happens?
The last time?
Well, I want to go in order. So this is the third time. I'm not. How many times did you leave and come back?
Well, I went to go look for my purse.
Why'd you go look for your purse?
He took it out of the car with my phone and everything inside of it. But he kept going to the alley. And he didn't have it with him when he came back the second time. So I assumed he has it hidden somewhere, maybe right there by the end of the alley.
All right, so at what point is it that you realize or notice that your purse is missing?
At this point now, this is like maybe 11, this is 12, around 12. This is right before my mom had left.
All right, was there anything in your purse that you needed?
Well, my phone, my credit cards. I know I had the keys still on me. And aside from that, no, just the phone, the credit cards, and I had some jewelry in there, so.
Okay, so you've got your keys on your person, right?
Yeah.
But your purse contained your credit cards and, importantly, your cell phone.
Yes.
And your purse was missing.
Yes.
All right, so I think you said you went to the alley to look for it?
I went to the alley. I had already not seen him come back for roughly, I'm gonna say, about 20 minutes, so I assume maybe he left.
Okay.
So I put the gun on top of the china cabinet, and I walked to the alley to look around the palm trees, see if it was probably there. And as soon as I got around the area, he ran up from behind one of the bushes and grabbed me by my throat and threw me on the floor.
Okay, and when he threw you on the floor, what did you do?
He could see my mom, like, just screaming, saying the same thing again, that's it, I'm gonna call the police. And he just took off again.
Took off again. All right, so this happened, takes off again, your mom is still there. Does he come back again while your mom is still there?
No, that's the last time.
Okay, so when he comes back later, your mom's already gone, right?
At that point, she left because I wouldn't let her call the police. So she just said she was tired of it. So she left. She called my sister to pick her up.
All right, so she got picked up and she left around, as best you can recall, around what time was it that your mom left?
I'm gonna say about, it could be possible from anywhere around 1:30, maybe 2.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Okay, so your mom leaves, so you're left there and your kids are there too, correct?
Yes, I had them inside of my room. They were locked in.
Okay. Were they, I mean, this is already late. Are they sleeping as far as you know?
Yeah, the babies are asleep.
Okay. All right, so tell me about when you, actually before I get to that point, do you recall a video that we saw a couple of days ago where Pedro is running across the screen and then you come out and you open the car door and then you yell at him?
Yes.
What was happening in that video?
That was after the first time when he grabbed me by my throat and No, the second time when he grabbed me by my throat and I pulled the gun out on him. That's why he ran.
Okay. And do you remember, because in the video we can hear you yelling, but it's hard to make out what you're saying. Do you recall what you were saying in that instance?
I was yelling at him to leave, to stop coming back.
Okay. All right, so I wanna get to the point where he comes back the final time. Tell me about that. How did that happen?
He had already not came back for a little, for a little while. I went outside to smoke a cigarette on the back porch, and I had the gun with me. And he came again, and he began telling me again how I was sleeping with this other guy, that the guy was a friend, was his friend's boyfriend, and I just got tired of lying to him. So I told him.
You told him you were sleeping with somebody else?
I did.
Okay. What happened when you did that?
I told him I was sorry, and he charged at me. He called me a fucking whore. He said that he gave me everything. I gave you everything.
Stop. We need to keep our voices up and we object. So there's an objection. Overruled. You can continue answering.
He said, "You fucking bitch, I gave you everything. I gave you fucking everything." And then from there, he charged at me. He grabbed me by my hair. He threw me to the floor.
Now, when he threw you to the floor and grabbed you by your hair, did you still had those wounds, right?
Yeah, I could already feel right then and there that they ripped open.
Okay.
So
he threw you to the floor.
He threw me to the floor.
After he throws you to the floor, what do you do?
I grabbed the gun from the slab.
Okay, and what did you do once you got the gun?
I pointed at him and I told him, leave already.
Did he?
No, he told me that he didn't give a fuck.
They're objecting to hearsay.
Did you hear when someone said, here's the
I never
objection?
did.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
it's all right. There's an objection. Overruled. You can continue.
He told me that he was gonna lock me out of the house and that I was gonna sleep outside. When I began to walk towards him and I said, "No, you're not. You're gonna leave." He said, "I don't give a fuck, bitch. I'm ready to die. You could kill me." And he began to run towards the house.
And what did you do when you see him running towards the house to lock you out?
I took the shot.
Were you aiming to hit him?
I initially aimed towards the floor as I lifted up the gun. I didn't expect for it to hit him. I just thought the sound was gonna scare him off this time for good.
So immediately before you pulled the trigger, he was going towards your door and he was gonna barricade himself inside the home, as far as you know, right?
He was.
All right. As soon as you fired that shot, did he abandon that intention and run off in a different direction?
He changed course, yes.
Okay, and he took off, right?
He began to run in a different direction, yes.
As he was running away after you fired the shot, did he appear injured? Did he appear like he was shot or hurt?
No,
or?
not at all. I didn't. That's why I didn't think he was hit at all.
Okay. I mean, did he say anything after you shot, like, ow, or you shot me, or anything like that?
I heard, like, it was very faintly, but it was like, ah. So as a couple seconds began to pass by, now I'm a little scared. Did he get hit? I don't know. That's where I began to walk towards the front of the house.
Okay, what did you do with the gun at that point?
I still had it in my hand.
Okay, at some point, did you put it somewhere?
After I circled around the house entirely, I threw it inside of the tree right in front of my door.
Right in front of your front door?
Yes.
Okay. So you hid it somewhere where you would have access to it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. At some point, do you find Pedro?
At some point I did after I heard the wailing, yes.
Okay, so he was wailing, and that's how you were able to locate where he was? Is that right?
Yes.
All right, so you go to him, and what do you see and what do you do?
I see him laying there as I get out of the car and I run up to him and I begin to ask him, where is it at? I begin to ask him, where is it at? He couldn't tell me. He was disoriented. From there, I start to look for where it is that he was hit. I start to look for the phone.
When you say the phone, your phone?
Yes.
Because at this point, you still don't have your phone.
Yes.
All right. So before we get back to Pedro, at some point did you find your phone?
I found the phone. It was roughly about 2 feet away from his body.
It was laying next to his body?
It was laying next to his body, like maybe he had it in his hand or he was trying to use it.
Okay.
But he collapsed.
And did you call anybody when you found the phone?
I called 911.
All right. At some point, did you try to render aid to him in some way?
At that point, I was just on autopilot. I began stripping his shirt off, ripping it off, lifting up his leg, tying a tourniquet around his leg, and then I even tried as much as to lift him up, but one of his legs, he couldn't stand on it at all. He couldn't move.
Was that the leg that was shot, or was it the other leg?
It was the other leg.
It was the other leg.
Yes.
So the other leg. So what? He's got a bullet hole in one leg, but the other leg, that's the one that he couldn't move.
Yes.
Did you know why he couldn't move it?
No, and when I would ask him what happened as far as to the leg, he couldn't tell me. He couldn't, nothing at all.
Okay. All right, so we saw the footage earlier in the trial when the police get there and what happened after that. Now we know that you didn't tell them. You weren't completely candid with them at first with the police, right?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain to us why you didn't just tell them everything from the get-go and why it took a little while before you could get to that?
They would have taken my kids.
Why do you say they would have taken your kids?
He wasn't supposed to be around. He wasn't supposed to be around the house at all. His mom was supposed to supervise them. He wasn't allowed to be there at all.
So you were afraid that because you were, if I'm correct, you're saying that you were concerned that because you were giving Pedro more visits than he was entitled to under that order, that they might penalize you. They might penalize you and possibly take away your kids, and that was a concern for you, correct?
Yeah.
All right. At some point you were handcuffed while you were still at your house or in the area of your house, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened? When did that happen, or how did that happen?
Well, I kept asking the officers the entire night. I was asking the officers the entire night whether they had resuscitated him or not. So I was pretty hysterical because they wouldn't tell me. They said I had to wait for the investigator to arrive for me to know anything as far as what's going on with him. In the process, I was calling hospitals to see where he was at, admitted. Finally, the investigator arrived, and as I walked up to him, I asked
Objection, hearsay.
if he was still alive, and immediately he told me no. I threw myself to the floor. I started to scream. I started crying. And
okay, so that's when you get confirmation that Pedro's dead.
yes,
All right, you said you threw yourself to the floor. You were emotional.
yeah.
What happens after that?
Pedro opens the door. I guess he woke up.
Pedro Jr.
Yeah, he opened the door. He was locked in the room, so he must have came out. He knew how to pick the lock. It's funny. But he came out the room and he opened the door, and the detective pushed him back in, and he arrested me, and he told him, "Don't come back outside."
Objection here, sir.
Okay. If you recall, how long, all right, so you're in handcuffs at that point. Where did they put you? They put you in the back of a car? Did they put you somewhere else?
They put me in a squad. They removed my jewelry and stuff off of me, and then they put me in one of the patrol cars for Homestead Police Department.
Okay, in the back seat?
Yes.
And they closed the door so that you couldn't open the door, right?
Yeah, and they left me in there for roughly about, I'm gonna say 2 hours.
Okay. Was the car on? Was the air on?
They had the windows down, but they wouldn't let me use the restroom or anything like that.
Okay. At some point you were transported to the police headquarters, right?
Yes.
Were you transported in a separate car, or were you transported in the same car that you sat in for 2 hours while handcuffed?
No, they moved me to a Metro squad unit.
All right, so you're told that Pedro's dead, you're put in handcuffs, and you sit in the back of a police car for about 2 hours, correct?